Hi and welcome back to another video of JPlay. I am Marcus and today should be a rather short one because I'm only having a look inside the box of Friedemann Friese's latest expansion for Faiyum. Basically it's the first expansion, Privileges, which I am waiting for quite a while. I'm really a huge fan of the, let's say, original game. I even covered it on my channel. Played the solo mode on my channel, that is. Unfortunately, the solo mode isn't really mind-blowing. I was a little bit underwhelmed by it, but I'm mainly playing it a multiplayer anyway, which is why I'm still a big fan of this game. And yeah, this is Privileges as usual, at least for the more recent titles from 2F Spiele. We have the German and the English version here of the rules, so it's Privilegien in German. And yeah, let's have a look inside the box. There's not a ton of stuff in there, but it should be still quite interesting. So let's open the box. You see it's a relatively small box, not quite a small box. These are the English rules. These are the German rules. These are the English rules, in fact. And one thing that is already quite commendable, we are not getting greeted by plastic component. This is basically paper wrap for those tokens. So I think in here we simply have some more resources, stone, grapes, and I think this is wheat. I think we don't need to really show that to you in too much detail. Not quite sure if there was really a problem with the amount of tokens that were available in the base game. I believe I never came close. Maybe this is now really something with the expansion. I think, yeah, the meat of this expansion are basically those cards. And wow, it even opens very nicely. I mean, that is really nicely done. Absolutely commendable. And I don't really know, it's definitely quite a few of those cards that are being introduced in this game. So let me have a quick look in the rules. It's 42 additional cards and 15 wood parts, so basically 5 of each: wheat, grapes and stone. And yes, obviously we need the base game to play with the privileges. One thing that you still have to do, even though we are adding 42 additional cards to the game, we are still removing quite a few here. So that's 14 cards if I see that correctly here. So the Hermit is gone. I really like the Hermit actually quite a bit. We have the Gardener. Not 100% sure why they are removing it. Is it because they are maybe a little bit too overpowered? The Hermit can be quite overpowered, at least I think, but ultimately it could also well be that this is definitely related to basically new effects that are coming into the game. And in fact, we do have, I think, actually 2 new effects with those cards. So first of all, you see that here we have cards that are one time only, like the Jumpstart or the Farmhand here. And yes, you guessed it right, you can only play them once during the entirety of the game. They are not added to your normal hand of cards. When you acquire these one-time use cards, you will basically place them somewhere next to your, let's call it really a player board, but next to your stuff. And then at any point in time, I think before or after you have taken your main action, you can then use this effect. And this simply gives you, for example, 2 different resources, either grapes, stone or wheat. Whereas the Farmhand here, I think when you are placing pretty much a worker next to a normal worker, which is normal placement rule in this game, you get to place 2 of these resources, I believe, instead of 1. But let me quickly clarify, because all of those are of course being laid out in those rules here. Send the Farmhand to harvest, one-time effect, place 1 worker upright on any undeveloped space, exactly like a normal farmer. And yeah, depending on the normal space, gain 2 matching resources. And we can still remove a crocodile. Exactly, this is a crocodile card, and we will still get the $1 for those. And yeah, there's a whole pile of additional of these one-time effect cards, but the other type is basically the infinity one. So this is more or less an ongoing effect, like these 3 here. And much like those one-time effect cards, you also place them next to your normal, let's say, stuff on the table, so you're not putting it into your deck, but they give you an ongoing special ability pretty much until the end of the game. The wheelbarrow here, for example, allows you to, per action when you place a worker on an undeveloped space, it does not need to be adjacent to another worker. So this is, or can be, relatively huge here. The hunting minister, if we are basically going for this crocodile, and again we have those all outlined here in the rules. When you remove a crocodile from an undeveloped space, you have a choice: either gain 1 reputation or 1 gold, or 1 money in this case. And again, this is an ongoing effect, and it's a relatively early card. And as you can see, all of these have odd numbers here in the cards, and I think this simply makes it easier to, let's say, shuffle them into the existing deck. So I think this was a relatively clever way adding those. In respect to, let's say, shuffling in those cards, I believe nothing really has changed. You are still taking those. You're still, I think, drawing 16 cards or so. 8 are being, let's say, put out and 8 are going to the end game pile, at least as far as I can remember. So really, from a rules perspective, not a lot has changed. So what did we have here? Maybe as a last one here, the still structures. Per action, you can build settlements, roads and bridges on undeveloped spaces with crocodiles. Oh, that is pretty nice. Play the appropriate card, pay the stated cost, and remove the crocodile. Gain 1 for the crocodile and the gains of the structure. So this is pretty much an ongoing power. You still have to play a card that allows you to do all this kind of stuff, like placing a settlement, but you also still have to pay for this. But at least you're now allowed to put this onto an undeveloped space with a crocodile, and you can remove the crocodile, and you are still getting the money for this crocodile. So ultimately, I really do think that there are really some very interesting cards. Bouquet of Roses, one-time effect, gain 2 roses. What do we have here? The Archivist, Pharaoh's Buyer, Chief Buyer. And I really do like that these are ongoing powers. You no longer need to rely on whatever spending money or manipulating your deck, which can be quite tricky at times. Really having these cards out in front of you in the open, and you are able to either use them once per game or on an ongoing basis, I think adds a very nice twist to an already very, very interesting and cool little game. And yeah, it's definitely a lot of cards that have been added in here. And I think even from a price point perspective, it seemed fair to me. I think I paid 12, 13 euros or so. That should be $15 or so. Yes, it's a small box. There's not a ton of stuff. And whatever, 10 years ago, this would have been a €5 expansion or whatever. But everything is fair. And really can't wait trying this one out. I'm relatively certain I will bring it to game night this Thursday. Let's see if I can convince someone to play with me. But so far I never had really problems. Not everyone loved it, let's put it like this. When I introduced it to, majority basically were interested, and I definitely had some good sessions with this game. But I think one downside of it, it's sometimes a little bit long for what it is. I'm not sure if this here changes something or so. Maybe, I mean, you have more options now, so this could maybe make things even a little bit longer. But then on the other hand, you now are able to, like I showed you, you're now able to build stuff onto undeveloped spaces, or you can place workers basically anywhere on the board. So I think this, on the other hand, could also speed things up a little bit. So yeah, ultimately, I'm really looking forward to giving this one a try. The one question that might be burning inside you is, unfortunately, they didn't really change anything for the solo play. I still think you can use these cards for solo play, but they haven't really messed with the rules. Maybe Friedemann has given up. Not really even sure who designed the original solo mode, quite honestly, so apologies for that. But I think there could have been a good opportunity here to improve the solo game. But then on the other hand, it's not really a solo game, so I'm really okay. I don't need to play solo all the time. I'm in a luxurious position to have a very regular gaming group and playing with friends and family, so I'm okay with that. Still might be a missed opportunity here. And yeah, that's basically all that Faiyum Privileges has to offer. Again, I'm really looking forward to that, and maybe I will do another What Game Did I Play Last Thursday, if I ever played it, and will share some of my thoughts on this game. And yeah, let me know what you think, and yeah, with that being said, hope to see you soon in one of my other videos, and until then, bye bye.